Hey guys, Coach Jason here, and welcome to my video coaching newsletter where I answer questions directly from you guys, my followers, and give you my feedback, my guidance, and my coaching on the particular challenge that you are going through. So today's topic is going to be about how to handle an anxious, avoidant type personality girlfriend. So I'm going to read his email and give you my advice. All right, so he starts by saying, first of all, I want to say that I've been following your page for about a year and a half, and it has helped me tremendously go through life's challenges in this challenging age period of the early 20s. Well, that's great. I'm really happy to hear that you've been following for so long, and I appreciate your support. Absolutely. So thank you very much. To the point of my current situation, I've been dating this girl for about 9 months now, being official for about 5 months. First relationship for the both of us, and we seem to pair up pretty well considering we have common interests and seemingly similar personality types. We're both mostly introverted, etc. However, I have noticed that a few months into the relationship, she would complain about me being too nonchalant, cold, not giving her enough attention, and she started texting obsessively and being clingy. She also mentioned a few times that she always has the fear that people will abandon her, typical of anxious attachment style. She's also much more emotional than I am, though I'm always unsure whether this is a normal male-female dynamic or not. Well, women generally tend to exhibit, not that men aren't emotional, but women tend to wear their emotions on their sleeves and are vocal about their emotions a bit in a different way than men are. Men are very emotional, but they tend to have emotional self-control and hold it back, whereas women tend to express it to get it off their chest. All right, let's see here. When talks of common interests started wearing off, we seemingly have less topics to talk about, and all she ever talks about is emotions, which are quite unfamiliar area to me. I usually keep my emotions to myself, as well as always asking for more commitment. So kind of like what I just said, women they deal with thoughts and feelings through talking it out and wanting to talk about emotions and connect with people. Men are more on the rational side. They'd prefer to do things and take on challenges versus sit around and talk about their emotions. Okay, so let's see here. I usually keep my emotions to myself, as well as always asking for more commitment, wanting me to guarantee we would get married in the future most recently. Okay, so she's the one who's always asking for more commitment. Okay, which I said that I cannot, etc. She is also always suspecting that I have other women, which I do not, which could be a struggle of being above average in attractiveness. Very humble, I know. Yeah, tough life for you, buddy. Tough being an attractive guy. Now, I started suspecting whether I am avoidantly attached or securely, because according to her words, I would totally be an avoidant. And according to myself, I think I am leaning towards it, but not entirely. It's starting to really feel like a push-pull game in which both sides are never satisfied. On average, we're seeing each other once per week, but recently less because of different obligations such as exams, etc. And she says that couples should spend all the time together. Most recently, we've had a couple of bigger fights and mentions of breakup. What would you recommend I do in this situation? Feel free to ask me something about additional information in case I missed something important. Okay, well, I think I have enough here. You did a great job of explaining some of the situations. So he's asking me, he's sort of using terms that are pretty popular today, which is like the different types of attachment styles, which is avoidant style, this anxious style, or the secure. So anxious means that they're people who are essentially always wanting to be clingy people, always need some sort of a confirmation that someone out there likes them. They have a trouble with abandonment. They're anxious all the time that they're going to be abandoned, and they generally just come off as very needy and clingy. The avoidant style that he's mentioning here, they're described as people who would just prefer more of a distance. They don't like to get too close. They don't like to get too emotionally intimate because they just prefer more distance, more of their own space. And then the final one, the secure type, which is just a healthier, according to this theory, it's a healthier dynamic where they can express emotions and receive it, and they can kind of go both ways. Okay, so now I'm not, this is one way of thinking about it, but here's what you have to kind of keep in mind is, the part of it is the male-female dynamic at play. Women in general want to connect. That is feminine nature. So when you said that, you were right on. Women want to connect. They want to bond. When a woman really likes you, she wants to be with you all of the time. She wants to text you, call you, come over, hang out, kiss you, hug you, be intimate together. They want to feel your presence as a man all of the time. Now, men, they don't need that as much. They can get some of that intimacy and then they're good. They go off and do their thing. I'm going to go to work. I want to go accomplish things, because men generally tend to feel more satisfied when they're being productive. They're overcoming challenges. They have a project. Okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to accomplish this project. Or maybe they're going to the gym. I want to lift a certain amount of pounds. I want to gain a certain amount of weight. We're driven and we feel fulfilled when we do those things. So the tricky part here with your situation is that this girl sounds like she's insecure and she's got some past issues that are going on, because it's one thing to be this anxious type, but generally what I've found is that women who exhibit these behaviors have some other insecurities and anxieties that are from past experiences in their life. Maybe they didn't get enough love as a child. Maybe their father left them. Maybe their father was, they usually have some sort of a daddy issue, because they need that constant validation and that affirmation that they're loved, that the man in their life really genuinely cares about them. So they're going to keep on doing that. And what ends up happening is it's a vicious cycle. She'll keep pestering the man until he gets kind of irritated and is like, you know what? You keep asking me. And now she's also saying that, she's jealous that maybe you have other women around. So what she's doing is she's continuously putting you in a state where you feel frustrated and essentially pushing you away. So she's fulfilling her own destiny here, because she has the belief system that I'm going to be left alone. I'm going to be abandoned because of whatever her past situation is. And that's all she really knows. That's what she's comfortable with. She might not like it, but she's fulfilling her own destiny by making you so uncomfortable that you kind of want to distance yourself from her. So do you see how that works? So, I'm not going to say she's this attachment style or you're this attachment style. I'm going to basically just tell you this is the principles of, human dynamics. If someone is continuously being paranoid, if somebody is always needing to see you and not giving you any time, that's just simply the sign of somebody who has some issues that they need to get through on their own. It is not your job to fix her. Now, in this situation, if you're asking what can you say, what can you do, in these situations, you can sit her down, say to her like, look, sweetheart, I love you and I adore you. We've been going out now for 9 months and I love being with you. But if you're going to continue to say to me that we have to spend every moment together, or that I'm seeing other women, then this is not going to work out. And I'm not interested in seeing a girl who continually makes these accusations about me that are simply untrue. So if that's your belief, if you think that I'm doing those kinds of things, then I think it'd be best if we went our separate ways, because this isn't working out for me. So, and then you can follow it up by saying, I want to be with you. I think you're great. I adore you. But if we're going to stay together, then you're going to have to work on this and handle some of these things. I'm here for you, but you really need to address some of these issues, because if you continue to push these things on me, it's going to make it so you're going to make it so it's very difficult for me to stay in this relationship. So that's how you phrase it. You don't want to blame her, you know, and you don't want to backpedal and say, well, I'm sorry, babe, I was doing this and that. You don't need to explain yourself. You simply need to say to her, this is what's going on. And so in order for me to stick around in a relationship like this, these are the things that I would need to have happen. And you can say to her, you know, if you can't do those things, that's okay, but I'm going to have to move on and find something that's a better fit for myself, and I'd like you to do the same thing. Okay, so you can really sit her down. You don't have to do this, the first thing out of your mouth, but you can sit down, like for example, the part where she's talking about her wanting to commit to in the future. I would say, look, sweetheart, we've only known each other for 9 months. Now I want to continue to get to know each other, but I'm not making any promises at this point. You know, let's see how things go. Let's not worry about the future. Let's continue to build a relationship together and see what happens. Let's give each other enough time. You know, I want you to see what I'm like, and I also want to see what you're like. So let's take our time. We're here together now. Let's focus on the present and not worry too much about the future. That's something that you can say to her, because, you know, when they're clingy like this, again, she's sort of sabotaging the relationship herself. You know, she's pushing you away subconsciously. I don't even think she's aware that she's doing it. She thinks that by being extra clingy, wanting to see you all the time, that's what builds a stronger relationship. But the reality is, you both need to have time on your own. You need to go do your things. She needs to have a life where she's doing her things too. And being 20, this is your first relationship. In all honesty, there's a lot of things that both of you just don't understand or don't know because you've never experienced them before. And on top of that, it does sound like she has a past that's just not the healthiest upbringing. So that's going to add another layer of difficulty into your relationship. Now, you sound like you're probably from a decent family, like your parents are still together, because you're willing to ask these questions. You're like, you know, is it me that's doing something? Am I off, or is it her? Like, you're aware enough, you're self-aware enough to look into that, and you're wondering about it. So, you know, feel free to follow up with me if I'm incorrect, but it sounds like you come from a decent family and you're getting caught up in a girl who's just bringing a lot of extra drama to the situation. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you should do in terms of should you stay with her or go with her, but I want you to consider what I'm saying, okay? If from just 9 months there's already this much drama, this is a forecast for what's going to happen. This is who she is, and you need to pay attention to that, because let's say you do get married, she's really not going to change. She's going to continue to have these tendencies, these anxious, you know, insecure tendencies. Marriage won't fix it, because you'll get married, then she'll say, oh, well, I want a kid. And then you're like, oh, I'm not ready for a kid. I'm still trying to work and build up my career. And then so you'll give her the kid, and then she'll be like, oh, well, you know, there's always going to be something for her to find that isn't going to be good enough. So I want you to consider that. And it's not because she's trying to be mean, but she's subconsciously self-sabotaging, because that's all she really knows. All she knows is this insecurity and chasing after someone and essentially pushing them away, because she's so afraid that they will leave her, that she now sabotages and she pushes them away from her. So this is a pattern that I see time and time again. Both men and women do this. So I guess the only other thing that I would say for you is to be honest with yourself. It doesn't sound like you're avoiding everything. It seems like you just simply have things to do and you want a balance of seeing her, but also having time for yourself. From what I'm reading from you here, it doesn't seem like you're not open to discussing things and being intimate with her and being close to her and letting her know things like that. She does say that you're too nonchalant, cold, or not giving her enough attention. If that is the case, and be honest with yourself, if you don't think you're giving her enough attention because maybe you're distracted, you're playing games or doing other things on your phone, what I always say to guys is, if you are busy, tell the woman straight up. Say, hey, look, I got to do these studies today. I'm going to be busy tonight. but I want to see you tomorrow. So why don't I come over and I'll pick you up at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever the time is, and we're gonna go out and have a good time. But tonight, I need to buckle down and do my studies, but tomorrow is just gonna be me and you. If you say it that clearly and that directly, that shows that you have a plan and that you're sincere, and you're also leading her by saying, hey, look, I gotta do these things, but I do wanna see you, so let's, what are you doing tomorrow night? I'm gonna come get you and we're gonna do something fun. So you give her a very clear, distinct plans to look forward to. That oftentimes will ease the nerves of a girl. And this isn't just girls who act like this. This is any woman. Because like I said, all women want to spend as much time with you as possible if they really like you. That's just a fact. That's not going to change. And that's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. That's feminine nature. So if you're with a girl like that, then you should be very glad about that. But again, you do have other things going on in your life. You're a young man. You want to build your career. You want to study. So you do need to be clear about that. Be like, look, sweetheart, I want to see you too, but I got to get this stuff done tonight. So give me tonight. I'm going to work on this stuff. And tomorrow, I'm going to pick you up and we're going to go out and have a great night. Be very clear about it like that, and you'll be good to go, okay? So I hope this answers your question. Like I said, it sounds like there's a bigger issue here than just these attachment styles. So you can follow up with me if there's more information, because I'm pretty sure that she's got some issues from her past that are creeping into her current relationships. Because girls who come from a good background, who get along with their parents, they feel they have love and support from their parents, they don't act like this. I've gone out with both types of women. Women who come from good families are like, oh yeah, go do your thing, babe. Like they're very free. They're like, oh, you know what? You want to hang out with your friends? Yeah, go do it. Have fun. Don't worry about me. I'll just do something at home, or I'm going to go hang out with my friends. Or they're very open to it. On the flip side, girls who are super insecure, they're going to do what she's doing. And me personally, I prefer girls who are a lot more easygoing and who are like, hey, go do your thing. Because I have a lot going on in my life, and I like to have freedom to come and go and do things that I want to do without having to ask for permission or worried about a girl being clingy or, getting all fussy about it. That's just something that I don't like. So that is my, that's what I would tell you, is to really consider that, okay? So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me or get my coaching on, then you can send me an email. Write me a one-pager with enough context so I understand your problem, so I can properly address it. And you can send that email to info@thesophisticatedScoundrel.com. All right, guys, that is it for this video coaching newsletter. I will see you in the next one.